Introverts usually hate phone calls, and it's not just about anxiety. Many introverts will go out of their way to avoid making a call, and when the phone rings, they're more likely to ignore it or let it go to voicemail. Now, while some might say it's social anxiety, that's not always true. Even calm, confident introverts often dislike phone calls. So why is that? In this video, we'll explore 6 real reasons why phone calls can be so uncomfortable for introverts. 1. Phone calls are almost always interruptions. Studies show that introverts are often more easily distracted than extroverts. Because of this, most introverts have an intense dislike for distractions. When distractions arise, they prevent introverts from getting tasks done. This is especially stressful for introverts who are working to meet deadlines. Most phone calls are interruptions, even phone calls from co-workers and employers. An introvert who feels obligated to answer a phone call may feel even more resentful about the interruption, especially if the phone call seems to have no real purpose. This problem can be lessened by scheduling phone calls. However, most introverts still dislike phone calls even when they're scheduled. 2. Phone calls involve a lot of small talk. Small talk is incredibly annoying to introverts. Since most introverts prefer deep conversation over shallow small talk, the socially acceptable small talk in phone calls can feel tedious and unnecessary to them. Think about your average phone call. Someone calls you. After initial greetings, the person calling might ask how the other person is, which requires a response. Before you know it, a minute or two of small talk and pleasantries have passed before the reason for the call is even made known. While most extroverts have no problem navigating all that small talk, it can be especially tedious for introverts who use up valuable energy during this type of communication. It's not just annoying, but physically draining for introverts to take phone calls. 3. Most phone calls could have been text messages or emails. It's perfectly acceptable to send a quick question through text message, email, or instant messaging. Instead of walking through all the social expectations of a phone call, sending a short and direct message allows both parties to communicate what needs to be said in much less time. This is especially true for non-urgent matters. While most introverts will understand a phone call for something that needs an immediate answer, they'll be rightfully irritated to answer a call about a non-urgent matter. This is especially true for short conversations that would be perfect for text messages. While most introverts learn to be flexible in workplaces seemingly designed for extroverts to thrive, they'll have a lot of appreciation for people who understand their preference for digital communication. People who respect their boundaries and use digital communication when appropriate will set up their introverted co-workers for success. 4. Phone calls don't give introverts time to think through their response. Introverts are big thinkers. Unlike extroverts who sometimes say the first thing that comes to mind, introverts carefully think through their responses. Phone calls don't give introverts the time they like to think about an issue before a response is demanded. One-on-one phone calls are especially hard because of this. If someone asks an introvert a question on a phone call, they demand an almost immediate response. When an introvert cannot deliver, the silence between the two parties can grow increasingly uncomfortable. Digital communication gives them the space they need to come up with an answer. Phone calls rarely afford this space, adding to an introvert's distaste for that communication method. 5. Phone calls don't allow introverts to observe a person while talking to them. When we asked an introvert why he hates phone calls, his first response was, "They can't tell that I don't want to be on the phone. And if I call someone, I can't tell if they want to be on the phone or if they're as annoyed as I am when I get calls." Introverts often rely on body language to help them respond to communication. While a lot can be observed through a person's tone of voice, the lack of body language makes phone calls particularly difficult. Most people know their introverted loved ones are listening by their body language. In-person communication allows an introvert to quietly listen, showing through their posture that they're listening and interested. Phone conversations take away this option, leaving introverts unable to use body language to communicate. 6. Phone calls can feel like they last forever. At the start of a call, there's usually a lot of small talk, and at the end, there's more small talk that seems never-ending. If you didn't plan to talk for long, it can feel really hard to end the call. Introverts often wonder, how do I hang up without sounding rude? What can I say if I need to go, but don't want to upset the other person? These questions run through their minds every time they make or get a phone call.